Good evening and welcome to another edition of Attack Wrap. Scribner and Adrien Mousseau, joined by our two guests, two rookies on the team, Cedricson Okitundu and Lorenzo Bonaiuto. Guys, how are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. Thanks for having us.
Pretty good, thank you.
We'll start off the show. Today's International Women's Day, so it's a two-part question. First off, how much has your personal mother meant to your hockey career so far? And then to finish it off, your billet mom here in Owen Sound this year as well.
Yeah, I would say obviously my mom, ever since I've been playing hockey since I was 3 years old. So having me and my brother both playing, my mom has dedicated a lot of her life to driving us around the rinks, making sure we had our food. I owe everything to my mom. And my billet mom, when I got here, she's made everything so comfortable, in the house, and everything I need all the time she has for me. She's amazing.
Yeah, same to me. Growing up, my mom had me pretty young at 18. So, it wasn't easy for her, but she made sure that I had everything that I needed. And really, I owe her everything. I wouldn't be here without her. And my billet mom, she's been great. She also does a lot for me. And, just the small things like coming back from road trips and, you have all your laundries done and stuff like that. They're small things, but they mean the world.
Well, there's a lot to go around to talk about around the league, and let's start out with the OHL Player of the Week. Sarnia Sting forward Theo Hill is the OHL Player of the Week, putting together 9 assists in 3 games as the Sting won a pair of games. Hill's marquee performance came on Wednesday, helping the Sting win a high-scoring thriller over the Saginaw Spirit with 6 assists in a 10-6 final. The 6 helpers are the most by an OHL player in a game this season, coming one shy of the Sting single game record of 7. Marco Constantini is the OHL Goalie of the Week, playing to a 2-0 record with a 0.96 goals against average and a .962 save percentage for the first place Hamilton Bulldogs. Constantini stopped 50 of 52 shots last week, helping Hamilton extend its win streak to 9 in 2-1 victories over Mississauga and Ottawa. He made 26 saves at home to the Central Division leading Steelheads on Thursday, as the Bulldogs prevailed on a late game winner from Avery Hayes. Constantini was solid in front of a national audience on Friday, turning in a first-star performance with 24 saves and a 3-for-4 shootout showing against twin brother Anthony and the Ottawa 67s on TSN. Now, normally we don't mention others who were in contention for the award. However, Nick Chenard, who went 3-0 last week, was in contention as well. Chenard had a 1.67 goals against average, a .933 save percentage, including a 27 save shutout against the Saginaw Spirit on Saturday night. Despite not being in contention for the OHL Player of the Week, Cedric Gainedon was named the Here on a Track Player of the Week. Gainedon had 4 goals and 2 assists this past week. Gainedon scored all 4 goals in an overtime win against the Guelph Storm at the Sleeman Center on Friday, and followed that up with 2 assists against Saginaw Saturday evening at the Bayshore. It's one of the best times in the OHL season where you find yourself taking a closer look at the standings between the East and the Western Conference. It's a close race for the top of both seeds. Let's start out by taking a look at the Western Conference. The Flint Firebirds lead the conference with 70 points, although take a close look at the second and third seeded team. The London Knights are second with 66 points, despite having 5 games in hand on Flint. In third are the Windsor Spitfires, who have 64 points, 6 points back of Flint, despite having 4 games in hand on the Firebirds. The Sioux Greyhounds are really feeling the loss of Tanner Dickinson as of late. They sit 4th with 63 points. The Greyhounds are 4-4-2 in their last 10. The Guelph Storm are on a 4-game losing streak. They're 5th with 57 points, just 3 points ahead of the red-hot Owen Sound Attack. With the 6-game win streak, the Attack have created some separation with the Kitchener Rangers and the Sarnia Sting, who each have 46 points. The Erie Otters have fallen to 9th, although just 1 point behind Kitchener and Sarnia. And sitting in 10th are the Saginaw Spirit with 35 points. To the east, the Hamilton Bulldogs lead the conference with 72 points. They lost Mason McTavish Friday night, but are still on a 9-game win streak with a few games in hand. The Mississauga Steelheads are second, just 2 points behind Hamilton. North Bay are 8-2 in their last 10. They're third in the conference with 68 points, 5 ahead of the 4th place Kingston Frontenacs. Looking at the 5th seed, it's occupied by the Barrie Colts. They're set to get Ethan Cardwell back in their lineup this week. He's almost completed serving his 15-game suspension. Barrie's on a 3-game win streak and sit 3 points ahead of Oshawa. Ottawa is in 7th with 52 points, just 1 point behind the Generals. In 8th are the Peterborough Petes with 45 points, 2 ahead of the Sudbury Wolves. Rounding out the conference are the Niagara Ice Dogs with 33 points. Now keep in mind this year, the 4 teams who don't make the playoffs are put in a lottery to see who gets the first overall pick in the 2022 OHL draft. Next up, let's take a close look at a very close OHL scoring race. The Owen Sound Attack go up against the OHL's leading scorer in Wyatt Johnson of the Windsor Spitfires Thursday. The Stars prospect leads the OHL in scoring with 90 points. He's been only held scoreless 7 times this season. Johnston is 2 points ahead of Rory Cairns of the Sioux Greyhounds. He has 88 points. Lucas Edmonds of the Kingston Frontenacs is third in league scoring with 86 points. 4 ahead of Knights captain Luke Evangelista, who is 82. Evangelista is only 1 point ahead of Brandon Coe. The battalion overager has 81 points in 50 games this season. Sitting in 6th is Logan Morrison with 77 points, 2 ahead of the New York Rangers' most recent first-round pick, Brennan Othman, who has 75 points. Othman has the second most goals scored in the OHL this season with 37. Matvey Petrov has 74 points so far, 3 ahead of teammate Mitch Russell and Oshawa Generals forward Ty Tullio, who round out the top 10 with 71 points. Turning to the Attack's top 10 in scoring, Denny Gore continues to lead the way with 47 points. Although some rookies are inching closer, Cedric Gainedon has 44 points. He has 13 points in his last 6 games. He's also second in rookie scoring, 10 points behind David Goyette of the Sudbury Wolves. Servac Petrovsky was the 5th member of the Attack to hit the 20-goal plateau yesterday. He's third in team scoring with 41 points, 4 ahead of Ethan Burrows, who has 37 on the season. Stepan Makachek is 5th with 33, 2 ahead of rookie Colby Barlow and OA Nick Porco. They each have 33 points. Sam Sedley has become the team's quarterback on the power play. He's got 27 assists to go along with 3 goals for a total of 30 points, leaving him 5 ahead of Gavin Bryan, who has 25 points. And then rounding out the top 10 is Logan Lesage, who has 20 points.
Off with the CHL Team of the League, leading forwards is St. John Sea Dogs 2002 born center Josh Lawrence, who through 3 appearances collected 4 goals and 6 assists for 10 points. Also up front is New York Islanders 2020 fifth round selection William Dufour of the St. John Sea Dogs, who registered 9 points, counted 5 goals and 4 assists across the trio of appearances, underscored by 3 goals and 1 assist effort Sunday versus Halifax. Rounding out the group is Sarnia Sting center Theo Hill, who dazzled with 9 points in 3 games, as Zach mentioned. On the blue line, Brandon Wheat King's overage defenseman Chad Nichuk shined with 10 points, counting 3 goals and 7 assists through 3 contests, highlighted by Friday's 6-3 win over Lethbridge, in which he recorded a season-high 5 points. Also on the back end is Pouvoir de Vadog's 2002 rear guard Cale McCallum, who impressed with 6 points, counting 2 goals and 4 assists through 3 appearances between the pipes. Is the OHL goalie of the week, Hamilton Bulldogs 2002 born netminder Marco Constantini.
Just a quick reminder, the Bayshore is now at full capacity along with the other 19 rinks in the league. Group and individual tickets are available. No proof of vaccination is required for entry at the Bayshore, as well as the QR codes. They're now gone. Masks are still required to be worn at the arena. However, for any tickets, head to attackhockey.com or go down to the box office. The next chance to catch the Attack at home is next Wednesday when they're home to the Windsor Spitfires.
Now, guys, let's get back to you guys. Lorenzo, you blocked a shot in Sarnia, causing an injury that had you out most of the season. But you're back now. How difficult was it being away from the guys and unable to play in your first OHL season?
Yeah, it was definitely tough. My first game back in Kitch, I was finally getting used to the speed of the game, but having that many games off, it was tough coming back. Yeah, but starting to come back slowly and hopefully start help make a difference soon.
With that, you guys are starting to get healthy, like you said. We see Nolan Seed back in the lineup this past weekend. Was it somewhat nice to have others battling injuries with you at the same time? Madding Steen was out as well, and there's a few others that are battling injuries as well. Was it nice to kind of have that camaraderie when you're trying to make that comeback?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially the guy with Nolan Seed out with me. He really pushed me, every time we're on the bike. He'd always make sure I'd go that extra minute or push for that extra 2. He would always help me out and always push me to always try to get better.
Now, you guys have both been out with injuries this season, and both recently came back from an injury. Who are some people that are helping you guys off the ice? Andy Brown comes to mind as the obvious answer, but is there other people's, your mom or your parents, your agents that you kind of like go and talk to, and when the times are tough, both physically and mentally?
For me, obviously Brownie, like he takes the lead for that. Like whenever we have any sort of issue, he's definitely one to help us out. But outside of that, I would say our assistant coach Jordan Hill. Like I always go to him whenever like there's ice time. I'm always pushing him to let me go on the ice, and like he's always getting ice time for us. He's always running the extra skates. So I definitely say it was him for sure.
Yourself, Cedric?
Yeah, for me, I would say Brownie for sure. But like Lorenzo said, Jordan Hill, as we call him, Skillsy, he's huge for that, and the skates, and or just sometimes he'll throw the extra trips in there just to get you fired up, so that you push yourself more on the bike or do those extra reps and stuff like that. So Skillsy's definitely up there.
Now, Zdeno Chara once said after 3 games, you're no longer a rookie, you're a part of the team. At what point in the year did you guys start to feel comfortable out there with the puck, like you were no longer a rookie and you belong in the OHL here with Owen Sound?
I would say just after the start of the regular season. Like in the preseason, like you're still getting used to the guys, you're still getting used to the league. But after the first couple of games in the regular season, you really start to own up to it that you're here now, you're on the team, you're friends with everyone now, you know everybody on the team. Like that's when I really started to get comfortable.
For me, I would say it's probably been a little bit harder just because I've been injured quite a bit. Like in preseason, I only played 2 games, and then I had my injury. But I would probably say at around the maybe 10-game mark, that it's really there that you start like, all right, yeah, we're here, and this is the OHL, and you deserve to be here, and just keep going and try to get better every single day.
Now, with that being said, what might be one part of the game that you'd like to improve upon, or that you would improve upon for the rest of the season? And what is one part of the game that you've noticed a huge improvement in your game since that that training camp in September?
For me, I would definitely say just my offensive play with the puck. Like going on throughout the rest of the year, I hope to just get a little more comfortable with it, like know that I'm able to make that play and just be a little more confident with the puck. But what also that I have improved on that I've noticed is defensive play. Coming out of minor hockey, like you're always trying to score, like that's your main focus. But when you get to a league like this, like defense is such a huge part of the game, and having a coach like Walters really taught me how to play defense.
For me, I would say I would definitely like to improve my offensive game, especially as a defenseman. It's good to be good defensively and stuff, but if you can add that extra bit of that offensive puncher, being able to walk the blue and find your teammates and stuff like that, and that would be something that I'd like to add to my toolbox. But something that I know I've gotten better at is being a better defensive defenseman. I've been good in the odd man rushes and stuff like that, and positioning has been big. And the D coach Jordan Hill has been really good with me with video and practices and really explaining to make sure I understand. So, yeah.
Now, Cedricson, the Gainedon, Barlow, Petrovsky line was formed recently, and they've combined for about 26 points in 6 games. What do you feel makes this line so tough to defend for other teams, despite all of them being first-year guys here in the OHL?
For me, just facing them in practice would be just how hard they work. They're all really skilled guys, and but all 3 of them work super, super hard. So they work hard. They can get the puck in corners, and I mean, a guy like Bars or Petro, the shot they have, I mean, you find them in a slot, and there's not many goalies in this league that's going to stop their shot. So definitely their hard work and their skill set.
And maybe Lorenzo, what do you admire about the line, personally watching them yourself as well?
Honestly, I admire like how they just all complement each other. Like they all bring something to that line that each one of them needs to be successful. And obviously, like Oki said, that all three of those guys work extremely hard, and just seeing what they do in practice, like these little moves that they can make just together, is unbelievable.
Now, Cedricson, you're still in search of your first OHL goal. You just mentioned that you would like to up your offensive game. I feel like it's coming. I see you game in, game out. You almost had an opportunity there last night. Do you feel that at this point that it's getting a little frustrating, however, that you still have yet to score your first OHL goal?
I mean, it's definitely frustrating. But I mean, like you said, as long the opportunities are still there. So, like Jordan Hill always tells me, I mean, the opportunities are there. It's gonna come. It's gonna come. And as a first-year guy, I mean, it's obviously gonna take a bit more time, especially as a defenseman. But I just keep working every day and try my hardest in practice to maybe get replicate how my first OHL goal is going to be and things like that. But yeah, I mean, at this point, it's I'm just going to keep working, and hopefully I'll get one soon.
Before we get to the highlights from last Wednesday's night's game in Kitchener, or against Kitchener, Cedricson, we talked a bit about number 11 already, and he goes on to have a great weekend himself. But you know him very well from playing with him in your minor hockey days with the Eastern Ontario Wild. What is it like having one of your best friends here in Owen Sound?
It's great. It's amazing. Me and Cedi have known each other for a while now, and whether it's on the ice or off the ice, we always talk and we can hang out. And when something isn't going as well, like let's at the start of the season, when I was injured, every day he was checking up on me, making sure I was all right, and things like that. So that just shows how good of a guy he is, and we can talk to each other about anything. So it's great to have a guy like Cedi that I've known for so long down here in Owen Sound.
Like I mentioned, let's get to Wednesday night's highlights against Kitchener.
The attack and the Rangers, and we're underway. Thanks for joining us on Rogers TV. Jordan up to Porco with some speed. Gore's going to drive in. Drops it back for Porco with the wrist shot. Save made, and it's covered up and gets it in the corner. Porco will hold it. Venturing down the wall is Sedley. He cuts out in front. Backhand shot. Save made. Rebound. They score! Ethan Burrows at Porco. Tied up. Knocked down. Burrows for another opportunity off a nice setup by Gore, but he was denied by Pavel Chuk. Rare sight at the Bayshores. We've played nearly 27 minutes. A blast by Sedley, and that one hurt. Chaya made a ridiculous save. Jordan took a bit of a shoulder check there to see his options. Woolley sends it up the left wing. Will he find Petrosky? He does. Servac Petrosky stepping in. He scores! From one end to the other. A great connection and a great finish. Servac Petrosky makes it 2-0. Finds Pinelli. Might have a lane to split through. He gets the breakaway. Pinelli coming into the backhand. He scored! Here's Burrows. Tied up as Pinelli found down. Out in front. He scores! Burrows just threw it into the blue paint. Banks it off the boards. Lesage down low for Bryant. In front, Makachek. They score! And it's a breakaway for Gavin Bryant. Bryant looking to add to the lead, stepping in, can't get the shot up, still finds it. Back into Lesage, he scores! Barlow going after, out of the net, Chyon, big collision. Barlow's gonna get to it. Waits, shoots, scores! Read that nicely. Here's a chance for Mercer. Mercer holds and shoots, and he scores. A shorthanded goal for the Rangers. Final seconds of the third period here. The Rangers won't get one more, and the Owen Sound attack will make it 3 consecutive victories. They knock off a Midwest Division rival once again, and the attack getting valuable points in the Western Conference standings. A strong and solid 6-2 victory here tonight.
There's the highlights from last Wednesday, a 6-2 Owen Sound victory over the Kitchener Rangers. Cedricson, one of the biggest takeaways I took from that game, Joseph Serpa's 11-game point streak was snapped in this victory. What do you guys feel you did well to contain him all game and limit his chances?
I think we were really good in our D zone. We've been really good in the D zone the past couple games here since we've been on this winning streak, and the PK has been huge. I don't know what our percentage is right now, but I know in the past couple games, I don't think we've given up many shorthanded opportunities. So that's huge, and we just got to keep going that way.
Now, guys, maybe a question for the both of you here. Ever since the 65 save performance from Pavel Chayon, you guys have scored 12 goals against the Rangers netminder in those past 2 games. You guys had 40 shots against them last Wednesday. Does that 65 game performance still stick in the team's head, maybe create an element of frustration?
Honestly, like, I don't think it created any frustration for us. Like, we knew we had that game that he had that 65, like, we ran into a hot goalie. Like, it's hard. We did everything we needed to do. We were playing the offensive zone. We got the shots. Just that night just didn't happen to go in for us. I feel like we just left it behind us, left it in the past, and just focused on the next game.
Yeah, I totally agree. We did everything in our power, get the shots on net, the bodies, and like Zoe said, we ran into a hot goalie, and it's next game mentality, right? So we just put that game behind us and just keep looking forward and try to get better every day in practice, and get better and play well in games.
Cedricson, I've noticed in warm-ups, we talked about this a little last week with Taylor, that you guys are repping a different tape job for warm-ups than you do in the game. Do you want to talk a little bit about that tape job that you have on the blade of your stick?
Yeah. So it was for Black History Month. So we got that tape, the tape out the hate. It's by the Hockey Diversity Alliance, I believe they're called. It's
yeah.
And yeah, they had a tape, and it was obviously for Black History Month, and we approached the organization, me and Teos, and see if there was any possibilities that we could get the tape, and the team was very open to it. We got the tape, and me and Teos repped that tape for the entire month of February, and it's just to support a cause. I mean, just do have some awareness, and just with, especially in the times, the racist incidents happening in hockey and stuff like that. So just putting ourselves out there and try to make a difference. So that's what it was all about, and I think it turned out pretty well. And the team came up with a pretty cool video on Twitter.
Now, Oki, one more question before we move on to the quiz here. In the past month, the Attack have played with 5 defensemen, 6, and most recently against Saginaw, I believe Guelph as well, 7 defensemen. How challenging is it when the lineup is turning over so much and the deep pairings are changing constantly?
I mean, it's definitely challenging. But at this level, I mean, it doesn't matter who you play with. You got to be able to adjust yourselves and stay ready. I mean, whoever you go out there with, you got to be ready to perform, and if not, you won't play. So that's just the way it goes, and I think all the boys understand that, and we've been doing pretty well at it.
Now, you guys left school this morning. I bet you guys didn't think you'd have a quiz tonight, but Monsieur Mousseau came up with another quiz, and it's time for another edition of the quiz. So the first question is the usual question that we go with. How many points did the other get in its minor midget season? So Lorenzo, how many points did Cedricson get in his minor midget season? And we go within 3. So you can shot in the dark. And then Cedricson, how many did Lorenzo? But Lorenzo, you get the first guess at Cedricson's point total in his minor midget season.
I'll say 24.
Oh. You know how many you had, Oki?
Including playoffs or without playoffs?
Without playoffs. Regular season.
Regular season, I think I was at 18 or 19.
18 points. You're right.
Yeah, that was off. I should have had a couple more apples, but anyways.
And how many did Lorenzo get?
So how many games?
Playing with the Marlies.
He played 33 games. 33 games.
I want to say, I admit, you guys were nasty. So I want to say maybe 55.
Oh,
I'm not that good at hockey, man.
he
Come
did lead his team in scoring, however.
on.
How many did you have, Lorenzo?
I had no idea. I'm pretty.
32.
32.
But those are just counting regular season games and not tournaments and stuff like that. So true or false? You guys played against each other in your minor midget and minor hockey, specifically in Bantam.
True.
Major.
True.
True.
Do you guys want to tell a little bit of that story? You guys were chatting about it beforehand. Lorenzo, I'll let you go. Give them.
Toronto Marlies 2-0. Beat them in the Marley Early Bird tournament, and then we beat them in the OHFs.
All right, now Lorenzo, let's get to you. Lorenzo, which one of your former minor midget teammates' dad is known as the voice of the Toronto Raptors?
Luke Devlin.
Correct. Matt Devlin is the broadcaster for the Toronto Raptors, so that's a pretty cool story. Cedricson, which one of your minor midget teammates was drafted by the Attack?
Oh, Ty Higgins.
Correct. He was selected in the second round, 30th overall in the U18 priority selection. Since Cedricson's Bantam minor seasons, though, how many teams has he been rostered on?
Man.
You can include the Attack.
Suitcase. Oh. I want to say 4.
Including the Attack, it's 7.
Jeez.
7?
Can you count them?
I didn't.
Since minor Bantam, you played with in Quebec, in
Yep.
Gatineau,
Mm-hmm.
and then you played with the Navingrads, 1 game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, UAT.
Eastern Ontario Wild, Fresno, and then you were rostered on Navin the next year as well. And then there was one more that I'm forgetting. But yeah, you're on 7 rosters, including the Attack. We got to get through this quiz. We're running out of time here before the break. In Lorenzo's minor midget season, he starred for the Toronto Marlies, as he's mentioned a few times. But what team did he start his junior career with? Do you know, Cedricson?
Yes. I don't. What's the name? They're in the OJ, right? So.
Yeah.
They're like the same colors as Marlies, pretty much. You posted on Instagram.
Yeah, literally the same jersey, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know what they're called though.
We'll give you the chance on the break to think about it, Oki. We'll go to a quick break. We still got more on the other side, the quiz, what's in the hat, more highlights here on Attack Wrap on Rogers TV.
This program is brought to you by NBA League Pass. More dunks, more slams, more to love, live in HD. NBA League Pass, part of the Rogers Super Sports Pack.
I am not a streamer. I am an entertainer that streams on Twitch. Let's get it right.
This is authenticity.
I don't think we could have imagined that chess influencers would be hitting 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
Most people might think going viral is like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I had no idea what I was in for.
If you want to live in the future, you have to invent it.
Hi, Attack fans. It's Adrien Mousseau alongside Zach Scribner, your host for Attack Wrap. Join us next Tuesday at 7 p.m. and we'll have Lorenzo Bonaiuto and Cedricson Okitundu.
We'll catch up with both rookies about how their first season in the OHL is going. It's a busy week for the Owen Sound Attack. We'll have plenty of highlights, what's in the hat, the quiz, and plenty more here on Attack Wrap on Rogers TV. Welcome back to Attack Wrap. Zach Scribner and Adrien Mousseau, joined by Lorenzo Bonaiuto and Cedricson Okitundu of the Owen Sound Attack. Guys, we were just finishing up the quiz there before we went to break. We'll pose the question again. In Lorenzo's minor midget season, he starred for the Marlies, but Oki, what team did he start his junior career with?
The Markham Royals in the OJHL.
5 games, you are correct. Lorenzo, what did you take away from those 5 games, the experience there in the OJ?
Playing there and being a call-up in my minor midget season, it was pretty cool because my brother was the assistant captain on that team. So he's 5 years older than me. So having a chance to play with my brother was a pretty awesome experience.
That is pretty cool. Now, Cedricson, I don't know if I'm going to allow that to be a correct answer because as a teacher, I know what you just did. You went to recess and you went back to your study notes and you got the answer. That didn't come from your head. So I might give you half a point there. However, let's finish this off. Lorenzo, a question about Cedricson. He played in 2 of the most illustrious international minor hockey tournaments, one in Adam and one in Pee Wee. Can you name the tournaments that he played in?
Adam and Pee Wee?
Yeah, and both are basically invitational tournaments. So Cedricson was a stud in Adam.
All right, so I'd say the Adam is the brick tournament, right?
Correct, yeah.
And then the Pee Wee had to have been the it was like the I forgot what it was called. It was like those huge tournaments where you travel like all around the world, right? Like you went to like Spain and I forgot what it was called. I'm pretty sure it's the Selects tournament.
No. He played at Quebec Pee Wee International Tournament.
Oh man. What am I up to?
My question to you, Cedricson, is how cool was it to play in the brick tournament? A lot of like NHLers right now have played in it. Marner's played it. Martin Jones has played it. Jordan Eberle's played in it. Steven Stamkos. The list goes on. Tyler Seguin. They've all played in it. And you're playing in the West Edmonton Mall. How cool is that?
It was probably one of the best experiences of in my life. I mean, we were so young and just a bunch of guys from Quebec that got invited, and we ended up going in Edmonton. And the mall, first of all, was huge, and there was a bunch of things to do. And then the tournament itself, we played against Team Alberta one game, and I think it was in the quarterfinals, and it was the farthest that the Quebec team has ever gotten in like the last like couple years. So we were the big guys, and like the entire mall was rooting for Team Alberta because obviously it was in Alberta. So that was probably one of the coolest experiences I've ever been a part of.
Now, you both were chosen not too far apart in the 3rd and the 4th round by Owen Sound. Made it onto the team after your first OHL tryout and getting good minutes in your first OHL season. We can start with Zoe and then go to Oki. Do you ever take the time to reflect on your journey from minor midget all the way up until this season?
Yeah, sometimes like I just think back to like obviously having that year off and like just seeing how far like I've pretty much come. Like it's always been a dream to play in the OHL, and now like looking back, like realizing I'm actually here is still kind of surreal feeling to me.
For me, I would say it's pretty much the same thing. Sometimes like we'll like a couple of the guys in the locker room, like we're going to talk about the amount of points we had in minor midget and brag and stuff like that. So we'll look back like that. But if not, sometimes I still have the hockey TV login, so I can go look back at the games. And sometimes I just go watch the games again just because I have nothing else to do. So, yeah.
So I think you've got the most interesting hockey story I've ever come across, where you got to play hockey in California during a pandemic. That one sticks out to me for sure.
Yeah, that was a good experience.
Now, one last question before we go to last Friday's highlights against the Guelph Storm. Speaking of, other rookies have stepped up as well this season. Teos was playing consistently, as has Cal. Ewan's up front. Cedric Gainedon's on a hot streak. Gavin Bryant. What has impressed you the most with your rookie D partners, and Lorenzo, maybe some rookies up front on the team?
Seeing like obviously that line of Bars, Petro, and Seti, like those guys obviously have really stepped up the last like on our winning streak these last 6 games. Like But I feel like it's not just the rookies. I feel like that was a whole team. Like when we got to the 21 game mark, 21 games left in the season, our coach came in the room and was kind of like, this is like the start of our playoffs. Like we won like 7-game series. And I feel like from there, like we're all as a team stepping it up. But those 3 in total from the rookies, those 3 definitely stepped it up like the most. Like seeing how much they've produced in the last 6 games is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree. Wally came in and we won the first series, we swept it, and now we're up 2-0 in the second series. So we have a big road trip coming up, so we're gonna try to close off that series there too. But yeah, that line has been they've really been they've been flying the last couple games here. And Teos, he came from so far. I mean, at the start of the season he got sent back home after camp, and then he came back, and every day he's at the rink, he's always smiling, and he works so hard. He wants to be a player, and you can see it. So it's honestly it's great to see, and yeah, I'm really, really happy for him.
Yeah, I forgot to mention Teos. Teos is one of the hardest working guys in the room. I have to mention him. He's pretty amazing to see.
Now, like I mentioned, let's go to last Friday's highlights. It was a memorable game for a certain attack member. Let's go to the highlights last Friday at the Sleeman Center.
Jilkin dropping there for Pastajov. Fed to the far side for Poitras. Saprika. Pastajov looking for a lane, trying to weave his way through, nowhere to go as he's upended, and here is Barlow for Owen Sound. Drops for Gainedon, his shot knocked and held. Orticalis couldn't find Gore with that pass, and here is Zilkin moving right back in, sending it across right in front, scores! He has the puck, cleared in, centered in front, and scores! It's Cedric Gainedon, and he's able to beat Bennett to make it 1-1. To Carabella, creeping in, good glove stop run. Here McGuire driving the net, scores! McGuire hard to the net, he's rewarded and puts the Storm in the lead 2-1. He has the puck, works it across for Denny Gore, back out to Gainedon. Low shot scores! Cedric Gainedon is second of the game to tie this up at 2, a power play goal. Drives it out, looking for Burrows. It goes all the way to Cheka, and here is Paquette. Dishes off to Carabella, low shot, scores! Rebound to Pappas, and he puts it home. Gainedon for Burrows, tied up by Cheka, centered by Gore, back out to Gainedon. His shot scores! Cedric Gainedon ties this up with a hat-trick goal. Just 26.4 seconds to go, and what a game Cedric Gainedon has had for the Owen Sound attack. Here's Gainedon, and why not? As he comes in, feeds it and scores! Cedric Gainedon again in overtime. My goodness, what a game. 4 goals for Cedric.
It was the Cedric Gainedon show at the Sleeman Center Friday night, scoring all 4 goals. Guys, we can start out with Lorenzo and then go to Cedricson. Was that one of the most memorable bus rides home after a performance like that this season for you guys?
Well, that night was actually the most memorable for that. Well, that reason, of course, like we're all so happy for Cedi, but our bus actually broke down that night. So we were stuck at the rink for about an hour and a half after the game.
2 hours.
So it'll be definitely a night that Cedi won't forget, and none of us will forget either.
Yeah. Obviously Cedi being one of my best buddies and knowing for so long. Was I surprised? No, he's done that in the past. But obviously at this level, it's unbelievable. Four goals is pretty sick, especially in one game. Especially since I haven't scored one yet. But yeah, especially the bus ride. The bus ride back, that was definitely that was crazy, because the funniest thing is that the other bus came from Hanover, where our buses are, and we followed our team bus back to the rink. So it was just kind of weird of saying, all right, like we could have stayed in our bus this entire time, but we had to, us, the rookies, unpack the bus and then load it again. So yeah, it was, and it definitely, it wasn't hot outside. So that wasn't great.
Lucky you guys have a lot of rookies on the team. This was the 10th meeting this season. And there wasn't a whole lot going on through 40 minutes. And then they're opened up to the third. Do these games just feel like a chess match at this point because you guys are so familiar with each other?
Oh, with Guelph?
Yeah, with Guelph, sorry.
Yeah, like I feel like each one of us on the other team, like we know each other now. Like we've played against each other so many times. But honestly, for me, it's pretty fun to play against them. Like I got a couple buddies on that team, so playing against them is pretty fun.
Yeah, I would say the same thing as Zoe. We all know each other pretty much now. And we know what, let's say the top guys, like we'll know what their habits are now, and especially the way video works. We know what they do on their power play, their penalty kill. So it basically is a chess match. I mean, the first one to make a mistake, is gonna pay for it. So yeah, I agree with a little chess match thing.
Now, one more question before I go to Saturday night's highlights. It was a busy week for you guys. The Midwest Division's filled with lots of talent. You look at Guelph, second-round pick, Daniil Chayka to Vegas, Passagov, a third-round pick, Francesco Pinelli and Kitchener's a second-round pick to the LA Kings. As a first-year guy in the league, is there an intimidation factor to you guys, especially in those first few matchups against Kitchener, London, Guelph?
Well, yeah, for sure. Like seeing guys like those, like who have been drafted, who have been like in that spotlight. But I feel like that just comes with it. Like you're intimidated, like I wouldn't say intimidated, but almost nervous even in your first games, no matter what. Like playing against them, like that's why it comes to this level, to play against the best. So I feel like I was almost more excited to play against them just to see how far I am from them and see where I need to be.
Yeah, I totally agree with Zoe here. For me, it's more a guy like Chayka, which a defenseman, and seeing the way he skates. And like I said earlier, I want to be a bit more offensive and bring that, and seeing how he moves on the blue line and stuff like that. It's just it's not intimidated. Like Zoe said, you're excited to play against those guys and embrace the challenge. So that's the way I see it.
Now, it was a busy week for you guys. Let's throw it to last Saturday against the Saginaw Spirit.
Underway. Thanks for joining us on Rogers TV.
Are we doing anything in between here?
Things off with that red-hot trio of
So after this, Mark will
Barlow,
ask the three
and
questions.
Gainedon from the blue line held. McNamara goes to Locus off the post. What a good look there from the slot. From up top, driving towards the slot on its backhand, one-timer Makacek, and that's denied. Makacek, and it's a 2-on-0 shorthanded. Petrosky and Makacek to Petrosky, they score! Servac, Petrosky, and Stefan Makacek. The season postponed last year, making up for lost time, certainly. Here is Seed throwing to the net, scores! Nolan Seed threw it towards the goal. It definitely got redirected. Spirit were able to change part of their penalty kill unit as Gainedon slips into the zone. Here's Barlow, drags and fires, he scores! Colby Barlow! A dozen seconds to go in the man advantage. Sedley to Gainedon, across to Gore. Gore scores! No mistake for Denny Gore. He'll just fire it home, and it's 4-0. Smith out in front, one-timer Sapovalev, and getting a piece of it was Nick Chenard, I believe. Might have grazed his arm, but a wide-open chance there for the Spirit. Although Okitundu gets himself all twisted up trying to shoot it down the ice. Wong will take it. He's got McNamara at the side, dishes it across, and he can't bury it. Following it up, he's denied by Chenard. From his own end, loses it. Porco pounces on it. Porco, 5-hole scores! Blue line and a broken play eventually does find its way to Minchikov. Smith cranks, goes down low. Duhart dishes it off. Locus a shot. What a stop by Nick Chenard. Gives it back to Locus, dishing across to Smith. Smith walks in down low, and the attack will keep it out there. Sedley and Chenard somehow stopped the Spirit from jamming one home. rolling now up to 5 with a 5-0 victory over the Saginaw Spirit.
The Owen Sound Attack defeat the Saginaw Spirit for a second time this season, a 5-0 win. Cedricson Nick Chenard stops all 27 shots for his second shutout of the season, 3rd of his career. What have you seen from your netminder over this 6-game win streak now?
He's been bailing us out a lot. Every time we need a big save, Ricky's been standing tall and making those big saves, especially the big stick save he had last night. That was a massive save, and I think it should definitely be in the conversation for save of the year. So yeah, he's been great.
Now, Zoe, what do you guys feel has changed recently? The team was on an 8-game losing streak, and then you guys follow that up now with currently on a 6-game winning streak. Has any system structures changed in that time, or has it just been status quo and just need to grind it out a little bit more?
Well, I guess for me, I feel like the biggest thing is what I said earlier. Is just like when Wally came in and said, this is the start of our playoffs. We have 3 7-game series coming up, leading into the actual playoffs. But like for us, just that mentality of stepping into that playoff mentality is like huge for a hockey player. Like every hockey player gets up for the playoffs. So like I feel like that's the biggest thing for us. Like we haven't really changed anything. We haven't changed our systems. We haven't changed our practices. But obviously they got a little more intense. But just playing that playoff mentality, I think, has been a huge difference for us.
Now, Cedricson, one last question for you before we go to yesterday's highlights. Nolan Seed recently returns to the lineup, contributing offensively in the game with his 4th goal of the season. Now that you're in, like you guys have mentioned, the playoff mentality, he's on your 2nd power play unit. What's he going to do and bring to the lineup here down the stretch towards the regular season and in the first round of the playoffs as well?
I mean, obviously it's huge having Cedar back in the lineup. He's obviously a veteran in this league. He's been through a lot. So for young defensemen like me, it's for me and Yui and Teos. It's great to have Cedar back. He's obviously a really good puck moving defenseman, and he's been helping the power play, and we already have the results. I'm pretty sure he had a goal last night, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, he's been really helping us out on the power play, and obviously playing well defensively.
Like I mentioned, it was a 4th game for Owen Sound yesterday. Let's throw to the highlights against the Guelph Storm.
Trying to work it out for Ethan Burrows. It missed, but Sedley will throw it towards the net. Deflected. Burrows and Gore looking for it. Porco finds it with a shot, and it's deflected over top of the net. On their current run, here's a chance for Petrovsky. Rebound is there. Gainedon jumps on it, and he scores! Cedric Gainedon. Chafe looking for Bryant. Cross crease, saved by Bennett. Rebound, scores! Servac Petrovsky. Taken to the boards by Jordan. Got the body, then the puck. Followed up by Pappas. Jilkin sending it to the blue line. Chayka holds it. Wrist shot there. Save made by Chenard. The rebound. Jukin's going to jump on it. What a stop by Nick Chenard. And Nick Chenard.
So Pappas is going to try and bang the rebound home. Chenard's going to dive across. Hits his blocker.
It's the inside of his out into the slot. Carabella was looking to let it go. Lets it go now, and he scores. Puck sitting there. Gore jumps on it. Gore was trying to get it by the goal scorer, Carabella, who holds it in. He lets a shot go, and he scores again! Jake Carabella, how about that? What a start to tonight's matchup. Owen Sound trying to retake the lead. Woolley walking in with a shot, he scores! Here's Portakalis on the block. He lets it go, he scores! Willie Portakalis! Penalty expires, trying to get across crease. He does. What a save by Oster. The rebound, he kept that out as well. Passes off to Porco, trying to go across, and back-checking was Pappas to intercept it. Now it comes to the side. Porco to the backhand, and he just put it wide. Barlow ahead for Gainedon. Cedric Gainedon for Petrovsky. A shot, he scores! What a laser from Servac Petrovsky. To bank it home from the sharp angle was passage off. Allen sends it to the goal. Juicy rebound. Walker scores. And the Owen Sound attack will defeat the Storm again. Now make that 6 wins overall in a row. And the Bears are hot as the attack pick up the 2 points.
It was a rare Monday night at the Bayshore, but regardless, the Owen Sound attack come out victorious once again against the Guelph Storm. Cedricson, 2 quick goals scored by Cedric Gainedon and Servac Petrovsky. It was looking like a good night for Owen Sound until Jake Carabella scores those 2 goals on the same shift. What's the mood or message on the bench to not get rattled after such a good start?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we had a great start to the game, and those 2 goals, they came from minor mistakes, and we went over it in between the periods. But on the bench, our coaches do a great job of making sure we don't get too excited, but we don't get too high, but we don't get too low as well. So they make sure that we're always in that good middle there, and so we just kept going, and I'm pretty sure we scored the shift right after. So that was a great response by the guys.
Now, Lorenzo, William Portocalis entered the game with no points in his last 11, and then snipes high glove on Owen Bennett, causing him to get yanked from the game. What has William been like on and off the ice for you rookies since he's been acquired since November? I always see him in the lineup before saying stuff to everybody, so I feel like he's a jokester around the room.
Oh yeah, he's actually my stallmate. I sit right beside him in the room, so having him there, like older guy in the league, he's been around for a while. Just having him there, he's pretty funny. Like he talks to everybody. Having him in the room is great, and for me personally, he's helped me out. Just teach me how to just grind away. Like he's the one that taught me, like if you don't have points, like in the last 11 games, don't get too down on yourself. Just keep playing, keep going, just do what you can do.
Now, Cedricson, we had Mark Woolley on the show a few weeks ago, and he said, I'm always good for 2 goals in an OHL season. Lorenzo, to you as well. What has Mark Woolley meant to you guys this season, and what are some of the leadership qualities you'll always remember about him?
For me, Wolves has been amazing. He's probably one of the best guys I've ever played with. He's a really good player, and he's an even better person off the ice. But just the way he plays, people sometimes see him as, he might be a grumpy type of guy, but he's honestly one of the best guys ever, and he's always there for the boys. I mean, obviously everyone knows playing the OHL is hard, and whether you're going through a hard time off the ice, for whatever reason, he's always there to give you that extra boost. And he picks his moments also for hockey wise. Let's say we have a bad period or whatever, he's going to let the boys know, but he won't degrade anyone or anything like that. He's just going to make sure that, we get back to our habits and playing well. And when we do have a good period, he's also going to say to keep going and that we have more. So Wolves has been great. And once the season's done, I'm going to miss him a lot for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with Oki more. He personally, I think he's like the best leader and captain I've ever played with for sure. He definitely made coming to the OHL a lot easier of an experience. Coming as a rookie, you're always worried about the vets, how to give you a hard time, but Wolves is always there to help us out for everything. Of course, like he's gonna get down on, like he's gonna like tell us when we're doing wrong, or but he won't do it in the way where he'll just yell at us. He'll like kind of pull us aside and like tell us like, okay, so we gotta do, how he'll just help us out. He's one of those guys where he's 2 separate people on and off the ice. On the ice, he's a little pretty scary guy. Off the ice, biggest beauty in the room.
Guys, it's been a really good episode, so much so that we haven't got to go through everything we had. So we thank Mark McKelvey and Jordan Hill for the interview we did yesterday. Despite the fact that we forgot to do What's in the Hat one week, and some Attack fans let us know about it. We only have 4 minutes left, Adrien. Let's do What's in the Hat tonight.
Right, we're giving Mark McKelvey the day off, I guess. So, guys, you know how it goes. We'll start with Lorenzo, then go to Cedricson for every answer. All right. Yep. First question: best and worst chirper on the team.
Best, I'm gonna go with Cedar. Worst, I gotta go with Cedi.
I couldn't agree more. But Seti, it's only because he's French. So
Yeah.
that's
Nah, you can't blame it on that because Petro.
It's too hard to think in two languages. I understand.
yeah.
Best arena food, and they can be anywhere. Best arena.
Ooh. Like any arena?
Yeah.
I'd say Scotiabank Arena. Then it's always pretty good there.
I would say on popcorn's pretty good.
Favorite subject in school, excluding phys ed.
Honestly, I'm having a blast in food nutrition right now. I'm in the kitchen. I'm making wraps. I'm making everything. It's pretty fun.
I would say French. French is my first language, so French is pretty easy online right now.
Very nice. C'est beau. Best nickname on the team.
Man, I don't want to say it, but it's got to be Oki. That's pretty much the best nickname.
Yeah.
Hate to say it.
And for you, Oki?
I would have to go with I don't know. I think Zoe is just pretty cool. Like Zoe for Lorenzo. Zoe is pretty nice. I feel like Zoe's a good one.
And the last question. Who's always the last one to the rink? The one you're always waiting on.
Oki. Dude, you have to say yourself. Come on.
Yeah, I would have to say myself.
You were mentioned last week as well, so this is becoming a trend. You need to stop that.
Yeah. I have to.
Guys, we only have 1 minute left on the show. It's been a blast. One last question to finish it off. We can keep it short. A goal you each have finishing off your rookie season in the OHL.
A goal for win a playoff series in the O would be pretty huge.
Yeah, for sure. I would say win a series, if not win it all. And personally, I would want to score at least one goal, one OHL goal in my rookie season would be nice.
It's been a lot of laughs. It was a really good episode, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us. It was a lot of fun. Best of luck in these playoff series during the regular season and going into that first playoff round as well.
Thanks. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Lorenzo Bonaiuto and Cedricson Okitundu of the Owen Sound Attack. The guys are on a 3-game road trip. We'll be back in Owen Sound. Next Wednesday is the home game. The next home game against the Windsor Spitfires, and we'll have Attack Wrap next Tuesday here on Rogers TV.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line. Email us or connect with us on social media.
Operation Smile, alongside our medical volunteers, provides safe cleft surgery to children free of charge thanks to generous donors like you. That was until we fell into a pandemic.
If you only knew what I'm going.
By December, tens of thousands more children will be waiting for surgery. Please help us keep our promise and deliver smiles to children in need when surgeries resume.